Hi guys, Hayden Simmons here from the Portrait Guru, and in today's video I'm going to share how I created this portrait drawing from start to finish, referencing the photograph on the left. I start by drawing a very loose circle which represents the cranium of the face. I then draw a horizontal and a vertical line through this circle. I then sketch out the placements of each of the facial features, just so I can see the alignment of each of the facial features and where they sit on the face. I then sketch out the shoulder and also the jaw lines or the outline of piece. I then look at the overall structures of each of the facial features, like the eyes, the nose, and also the mouth. As you can see, I'm looking at the big shapes of the facial features here. I'm not caught up in the details at this point. I'm pressing very lightly on the page, not very hard. I'm using a 4H pencil here, but you can use any hard pencil at this point. But if you have no other pencils around, then any will do. I then look at the finer details of those facial features, looking at the jawline, where the mouth sits in relation to the face, and then looking at things like the hand of the piece. Hands are a bit of a kryptonite to most artists. I don't mind drawing them. They're not my favourite or best thing for me to draw, but I've got to step out of my comfort zone every now and again. Like I say, they're not my favourite, but it actually makes this piece. If you're familiar with this channel, I love turning my drawing upside down, and it's a familiar tactic or technique within the art world, as it helps you see any errors within your portrait drawing. So I do that so I can see any of the errors which I wouldn't see if I just had it always turned up the right way. So I've turned my image upside down and also the drawing, and then I look at the finer details again and also the big shapes. So I correct things like the eyes and also the structure of that hair. I actually erase some of that nose, and I don't think the placement is correct. If your drawing isn't correct and you're thinking I should really rub this out or erase it, definitely do so at this point before you go into the details. Really important if you keep doing this and you're very disciplined in your approach, because if you just go for it and you actually know deep down that parts of your drawing isn't correct, then when you come to the finer details and you come to the shading part of this drawing, then it won't look as good as it could be. So definitely raise any errors at this point. You can see that I've actually added some more earrings to this piece, as I just wanted to add some more artistic license to the drawing. Remember that you don't have to 100% copy the photograph. You can use it as a reference, but if you want to add more hair, like I'm going to do in a moment, if you want to add more earrings, if you don't want to draw the hand, then you can just not include it in your portrait drawing. You don't have to 100% copy the piece. If you do want to copy it, then go for it. But if you want to use some more artistic license and more creativity within your portrait drawing, then I definitely recommend it. As you can see, I'm adding some more hair and some more volume and some more curvature to that piece. Then I'm turning my image upside down again, looking at the nostrils and also just checking the placement of all those facial features before going on to the details, and using a pen which can't really rub out at all. So I'm just looking at the hair, making sure everything is concrete. I'm using these black Pigment fine liners, which I really recommend, and I'll put in the description below. I then start with the left eye. I tend to do this with most of my portrait drawings. I think it's always a good facial feature to start with, as it's quite a fun element. And then draw the eyelids and also the wrinkles below the eye. I describe the iris and also add shading to the overall eye. Remember that eyes aren't flat on the face, they're curved in nature, so make sure you render and shade your drawing in accordance to this. I then use a brush pen within this pigment liner set for the eyebrows, which is great for describing hair and also eyebrows itself, and then move on to the right hand eye, describing the eyebrow, using the brush pen for the iris, the eyelids, and also the eyelashes. So I'm flicking between each of these pen sets within this drawing, using the brush pen, things like the hair, using a finer pen for the finer details. And then go on to the nose of the piece. So the darkest areas of this face is in the nostrils itself, parts of the hair, the eyebrows, the eyes, and also parts of that background. I then describe the curvature of that mouth, adding some shading to the inside of the mouth, and also describing the teeth, and then drawing around that outline of that face, describing the jawline of this female. I keep going around that face, making sure all the details are drawn, making it look as 3D as possible. I do tend to squint my eyes, which is a great technique that you can do. So you can, if you want to squint your eyes, you can see all the tones really clearly within that piece or that photograph. You can notice that the darkest areas come from that hair, the eyes, the mouth, and also the background, just by squinting your eyes. I then draw more details to the hair using a brush pen to really show the curvature of that hair. As I was saying previously, I'm adding some more hair, eliminating the hat from this piece, as I wasn't a big fan of drawing the hat, as I just want to add more of hairline, as I think this person has a great set of hair, so I definitely wanted to describe it. I'm using the brush pen for the hair and also the shadows of that hand. As you can see, I'm drawing around those imaginary earrings, making a darker tone within that background, just so it adds some contrast from the hairline, the portrait itself, to the background. Using the smaller tips for the details of the piece, and then just going throughout the drawing, adding those details. Going around the eyes itself, as you can see, there's a dark tone around the cheeks, so I want to describe that. There's also darker tones around the corners of that mouth, and also the forehead as well. Sides of the face and also the bridge is not completely illuminated, so I just wanted to add some more details to the face. As you can see, I'm going from the eyes to the nose, the mouth, to the hair. I'm working on the overall piece and not getting caught up in just adding details to one element. I mean, everyone describes and draws differently. You might want to make one facial feature completely concrete before working on something else, but that's completely up to you. This is just how I draw, and this is how my style has evolved from here. Keep looking at the reference photograph throughout, making sure what you're drawing replicates what you're seeing. I know I said previously that you can use your artistic license and creativity to create something new from that photograph. Just make sure that it's representing what you want it to represent and it looks as 3D as possible. I'm adding some more darker tones to the background and then just generally working on the overall piece. As you can see there, that's the brush pen that I'm using. I wasn't the biggest fan of the outcome of this shoulder in the final piece, and also the hand. I think it detracts from the face itself. I think in hindsight I would probably get rid of that hand, but I kept with it. In hindsight's a wonderful thing. Being very loose and gestural with that background, not worrying about the strokes itself. I want to use the finer details within that face. and then use a hard pencil. This is a 4H pencil, just adding some more shading to that portrait. So things like underneath that nose, above the eye, the forehead, etc, etc. You don't have to stick to one medium. You can add colour, so you can use Posca pens or brush pens or coloured pencils if you want to at this stage. Or you can also use just pens as well, or you can use just graphite pencil. I'd love to hear how you got on with your own portrait drawings. Do ask me any questions in the comment section below, how you got on. I'd love to hear from you, and do give me a comment below. We're coming up to the final stages of this portrait now, but I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Portrait Guru for even more content in the future, and do give me a comment below. It helps spread the word of this channel. And here is the final drawing. Thanks guys, and I really recommend you checking out this video, and see you on the next video.